can't come over here and start doing that. I'm telling you, I'm a clown on camera. So don't be loud and stuff. Shit. I got 30 seconds before it helps me. And thank God. Great. Okay. It ain't ready yet. Good evening, everybody out there in social media land. Happy New Year's. That's what it is. Happy New Year's, guys. Yes, welcome on in to Medical Talk in Layman's Terms with Nurse Charlene. And my topic today is going to be a nice spicy one for you. No, last week was spicy and everything. But this week, the topic is, it's my resolution and I'm sticking to it. And everybody knows about the New Year's resolutions and everything and stuff. So that's where this is coming from and everything. So let me put one person on. Okay. So you ready, Rosie? Brittany, you can help. But anyway, yeah, so it's called It's My Resolution and I'm Sticking to It. And so I'm so excited. It is the first Tuesday in 2026. January 6th, 2026, to be exact. And it's 7 p.m. And it's time for the podcast to go ahead and go forth. And prior to me doing all of that, I'm still going to be reading my podcast disclaimer before every airing. And then also you see that I stuck to business as usual on my board behind me. The reason why I keep the board there instead of all these graphics is because eventually I'm probably going to graduate into graphics. But for right now, this is giving me hope, and stuff. So definitely I enjoy my own drawings, and stuff and sketches. It's so realistic, and it's fun, and stuff. It's what I'm thinking in my mind, my creativity is going wild and stuff. But it got little things like right here on this side, that was me trying to put somebody on a treadmill or a scooter, but anyway, a treadmill. And then this is my a list of New Year's resolution list, and that is different things: exercise, healthy eating, and different things like that, stress management and stuff. That's a bike, maybe you've never been on a bike and stuff, but you got one or something like that. Like I am the victim of having skates that I've never skated in because I was scared that I was going to fall and hit the deck, and stuff. So I didn't turn up the volume on it when you get in there. But anyway, long story short, that's my little bike. And then I can't see what that one is. Oh, that's this one right here. I couldn't figure that out and stuff. It's a scale. Everybody start weighing themselves and then they hide the scale by the end of January or something like that. And then this is healthy eating, and somehow it rubbed off on here, but that's portion size because we got to start going back to the basics and stuff. We can't be having first, second, thirds, and fourth servings of food and stuff. We got to eat till we're full, and then it's done. Give your body a chance to a fighting chance to digest that and get the nutrients out of it, and then you go on to the next thing and everything. So that's where that comes in at. And then over here, that's the little bridge. I was just thinking like fireworks and a little popping a little bubbly or having your little yak or whatever you drink and stuff like that, and then all this other stuff that comes along with it. And that's a list of all the things that you want to that you might want to work on throughout the year and everything and stuff. So before I get started, I see my folks is in and stuff. Miss Sandra said, good evening, Nurse Charlene and Rosie and Britt from Sandra and T. One question, how long you been doing your podcast? Let me see. We loving on you. Oh, thank you and stuff. So actually, I'm glad you asked that and everything and stuff. We've been doing our podcast. Listen, me and Jesus. But anyway, oh, one more thing. Welcome in, Pastor Carol. Happy New Year, sweetie. She said, Happy New Year's 2026. Your body is a snitch. Hey! Yes, you guys and stuff. So I'm gonna answer 2 for 2, and stuff. And that is, I've been doing podcasting since 2023. So this is 2026. So it's going on 3 years this year. And I've been doing my podcast, Medical Talk in Layman's Terms with Nurse Charlene, since March 4th, 2025. So in March, it'll be my 1 year anniversary, and I'm gonna come up with something special for that Tuesday, the first Tuesday in March. But as I digress, I thank God for it and stuff. I pray before I come on so that I'm giving you guys good information. I try to use my personality, to get things across. So sometimes I might be funny or something, or you'll see me just go into what am I supposed to do and this and that and stuff. No, I'm not schizophrenic. No, I'm not crazy, and stuff, or out of my mind and stuff. What I'm trying to do is let you see what you might even do, maybe in a lighter version or a heavier version than that and stuff. But that's where that comes in at and stuff. So definitely I welcome you all on and stuff, and Happy New Year's to you guys, and I appreciate you, and you know how hype me up and stuff. It's business as usual. Pastor Carol said yes, the open door of training, and look what he has done. Yes, absolutely. So he opened the doors for me. Actually, it started even before I got on podcasting and stuff. It started in church. It was a church I was going to, and they had a medical corner that they called it, our medical corner and stuff. And I would teach online, via online, but from church, from the pulpit and stuff. And I would tell different things, tell people about their blood pressure and stuff. I would go out and speak for people, and stuff. Like Pastor Carol, she has this wonderful business. It's called the Joy Project, and it's community servicing, meaning she's in there, and stuff, working with, getting down and dirty in the trenches with the unhoused. I take that back, the unhoused, because that's the proper name for it, and different things and stuff. And she works on that and getting food and different things, and via her church, Christian Cathedral Church, and all of that stuff. She's doing that. And then it's another young lady, Miss Charlene Brown, and she has a Mother's Cry about women, who have lost their children to violence in some type of way and stuff. And they're, it's hard when you lose a child and stuff to, to deal with that and stuff. But she has a program that helps people get to the deep-seated pain that they're in and find other functional ways of still keeping their life together when it feel like everything fell apart. So these are just really very personal things and stuff, but these are the caliber of ladies I'm working with, and looking after and stuff, and they really have something to say, and they're really doing something good with their platforms and everything. And Pastor Carol said, yeah, the Joy Project. Yes, the Joy Project and everything. And that's Pastor Carol, and she's over that project. I will be having her on. She doesn't know it yet, but now that she didn't went ahead and put it on there and stuff, yep, you're coming on. Yes, yay, let's give it up for Pastor Carol. And she's going to talk about her project and everything, because it's community servicing. I've been a part of going in with her And also Carolyn Brown and stuff, and a Mother's Cry and stuff, and that's her platform and everything and stuff, and she gonna be coming on too. Thank you, Carol, Pastor Carol. Yes, and stuff. So as I digress and stuff, yes, we're gonna be having a lot of people coming on. I have my son Michael Jefferson Jr. He'll be coming on pretty soon and stuff to talk about organics, and also another part of in order for us to learn things, we need to be tutored. That's what I'm doing to you guys, is I'm tutoring you in my own special way, because you asked me for the information anyway, but this is my way of giving back to everybody so that everybody knows, and everything. And it's, my son used the word organic. He said, Mom, your podcast is organic. It's really something needed and everything. People don't know. And now they're, less people are afraid to go to the doctor just because they heard one podcast with you talking on it, and stuff. Now they're going to the doctor. Now they know that your body is a snitch, and everything and stuff. And that's where all of this is coming from. So it's just more to come, you guys, more to come. And Rosie Granny Allen, I love you. That's my mommy. She said, praise the Lord, everybody. I am watching. Happy New Year's and God bless you all. Okay, so she's saying God bless everybody on the line and out there in social media land. And Pastor Carol said a mother's cry. And she also said awesome work. Thank you, Pastor Carol. Awesome work to you and Carolyn also. And I appreciate you guys. All right, so let me read my podcast disclaimer, and then I'm going in on the topic. It's my resolution, and I'm sticking to it. My New Year's resolution, I meant, and stuff, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, so the podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not intended to replace professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult with your physician for any medical concerns. If you have questions about a medical condition, reach out to a qualified healthcare professional. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay seeking it because something you heard on a podcast. Guest views are their own and may not reflect the views of the host. That's me. But if I put them on, I'm in agreement with them or this podcast. The information shared is for general knowledge, just general education. It should not be used for any legal or medical purposes. Always consult with a licensed professional who knows your medical history for a meaningful evaluation and treatment. Stay informed, but always seek professional advice when it comes to your health, because that's all you got. You can't just go to this or that and stuff. If you don't know that person personally, they might not can help you. Do you live in Africa or Asia or Malaysia where they are at? Then how do you know it's going to help? Their plants are different from our plants out here. Their scenery is different. Their way of living is different. Some are healthier, some are worse, and everything. It's just the way it is and stuff. But always remember, I know finding the good stuff is on your mind, and that's okay. That means you want to take care of yourself. You actually care about yourself. But let's be realistic, and stuff. We can look at all of this stuff. We can look at these 100 different sea mosses. But did they really come from the sea moss tree or whatever and stuff like that? Find out. You got to start searching it out. Or you're going to find out. Faith around and find out. That's what it is. Faith around and find out. Okay? So let me begin. And it always works with why am I doing this topic? It's called the New Year's resolution. But because it's layman's terms, what is a resolution? What's that supposed to, is that like a revolution or a resurrection or what is that? Yeah. Okay, let me explain. A New Year's resolution is a personal promise or goal people make at the start of a new year to improve themselves. often by adopting a new habit, giving up an old one, or making a positive change in their life, like exercising more, eating healthier, or saving money. It's a tradition rooted in renewal and self reflection, symbolizing a fresh start for personal growth. So, see, um, working on yourself. It didn't work last year, all that stuff that didn't work. You get a chance to reset now. You made it through, even though it didn't work, though, right? And stuff. So you still blessed and everything. But now this is the new year. It's only 6 days. It's not even 7, a full week. That'll be tomorrow and stuff. So it's still time. This whole month is time for you to start. You can start, but let's make it today, January 6th, and everything. I just reflected on yesterday, January 5th. I moved into the house that I live in now on January 5th, 2009. So it made 17 consecutive years. I've been looking at the same wall and stuff. So I know a lot of people have way more and stuff, and I understand that and stuff. But that's a difference between me feeling like a gypsy, always moving every couple of years, 2 or 3 years and stuff. And then I'm here 2 or 3 years, I'm here 2 or 3 years, I'm there, and stuff like that. And that's a hard thing to go through and stuff, period, and everything. And so to be in a house 17 years, 1 year after another, that's a lot. That's a lot. So when I'm saying that and stuff, I need to do something different. I need to do, if I want better, then I got to seek better. If I want worse, that will find me easily. But if I'm seeking better and positive and getting rid of old habits that didn't even work for me and stuff, and getting and adopted all these new habits, wow. Wouldn't that be, nice and everything? Pastor Carol said, wow, it's been that long. I know, 17 years yesterday. So we working on the 18th year. but I'm saying 17 consecutive years, that's ridiculous. But that's a blessing. What about the unhoused? And I've been housed that long, year after year and everything and stuff. All credit belongs upstairs. And y'all know what that means. It might be the God of your understanding and stuff, but the God of my understanding. Okay. So we'll leave it at that and stuff. But yes, that's a whole blessing. And I thank you, God. Yep. Resetting your life, stress, finances, and family relationships. This is in layman's term presentation on ages I picked out was 18 to 70 years old. And the reason why I picked those out is because 18, I'm grown. I could just move out the house when I'm 18. They don't move out the house. They don't move. Some might, they might get lucky and stuff. But yeah, sometimes they don't move out the house when they 18. I don't think it's a such thing. But anyway, if it is, I think I moved out pretty early, fairly early and stuff. But yeah, I had a baby at 18. Yeah, so. But anyway, getting to the good part and stuff. Life can get overwhelming. Stress, money problems, family tension, burnout, and feeling stuck can make anyone feel like they've lost control. Yeah. The good news. See, I'm not always talking bad news and stuff. Yeah, your body snitching on you, you toe up, or something like that. No, the good news is you can reset. No matter your age or situation, you can start over and get a fresh start and do it from there. I just watched so many times. Tyler Perry was homeless, but now he's a multi-millionaire. Who else that I seen? Steve Harvey was living in his car, and now he's a multi-millionaire. Tiffany Haddish, she's a comedian and stuff, living in her car until she made it. Now she's a multi-thousandaire or millionaire or something. She probably got a few million by now and stuff like that. But I'm saying all of this to say that they didn't give up on themselves. They knew that they had something good inside. So they used that and they made it and everything. So like I said, it's never too late to reset. And so like I normally do in layman's terms, I'm going to give you some definitions for these things I'm talking about so that you know, because you might not know what reset looks like for you or something like that or whatever. And some people just don't know what reset means. I want to talk to everybody. So I'm going to give it to you. Reset, a fresh start, reorganizing your life in a healthier direction instead of staying stuck in unhealthy habits. You get a reprieve, a reset, you know, and stuff like that. You could do something better, you know, and everything. Then stress, your body's alarm system. When you feel pressure, fear, or overload, the mind and body go into fight, flight, or freeze mode. That might not be the best thing for you, you know, or me, you know, and stuff, because I got to reset too. I got a whole life just like y'all. Some things happened to me that I didn't like, you know, and stuff that I didn't approve of and stuff. But this is all of us that are a human being. We got a fight, flight, or freeze mode. Guess what? It don't help, or it don't help mode and stuff. So fight. Well, you know what? If people keep on coming up against me and I'm this and that and stuff, I'm gonna knock the. Yeah, that probably ain't gonna help you. Yeah, it's not gonna help. You might even go to jail, you know, or you know, it might just keep on going in the retaliation that we don't know. So that's fight, flight. Oh, all these bills coming to me. I'm gonna run the hell away. I'm running away. You know, yeah. How does that help? Are they still there when you come back? Well, you probably didn't run away and escape them, right? So, okay. So that's flight or freeze. You just gonna sit there like a dummy? A punk? No, I'm just playing. But anyway, you know, and stuff. And that would be freeze mode. You just don't do nothing. You just sit there and take it. Yeah, that don't help. You worth more than that. So don't let them beat the hell out of you. And don't beat the hell out of them, you know, and stuff. So no fighting, no running away from it, because you got to stand. And if you get enough of a God of your understanding, you probably could stand and take the pain. Can you stand the rain? You know, and stuff like that. I'm just saying. Yeah, by the way, the rain really jacked my backyard up and stuff. Now I was out there in the rain, breaking down a whole tarp and canopy and everything, because all the rain that sunk it in and all of that stuff. I had the joyous time of my life for New Year's. Thank you, rain. No thanks. But anyway, also, what is it? Poor finances. So these are definitions. That was stress. So poor finances is next. And that's when your spending habits, income, debt, or lack of planning make it hard to meet life's needs or goals. I gotta rob Peter to pay Paul. Has anybody ever? Do you go to church, first of all? And you talking about robbing Peter? Peter cut off an ear and stuff. Don't try to rob nobody with a knife, because you might get into a knife fight. Okay, so yeah, ain't no robbing Peter to pay Paul and stuff, you know, and stuff. But that's a funny thing that people say and stuff. Yeah, it's not that cute and stuff. That means that you done messed up somewhere. You're not managing your money right. Guess who ain't managing their money right sometimes? Bam. So I'm telling you, I'm telling me, you know, and stuff. So don't worry, I'll be transparent for you, because I know everybody got their finances together. Everybody doing it perfect. It's all right. And this is the funny part about the poor finances is the more you make, the bigger crap you get in, the bigger bucket you get in of that. Yeah, see, back in the day, you had a little $1,000 credit card. You like, okay. What about when it gets to 10,000? on the credit card. But anyway, and then you run it up. It was my money. They gave it to me. Yeah. And then you look at the little debt, it's called an APR. Is maybe it stands for April, right? Or it might stand for annual percentage rate. Bam! Yeah. Hey. So guess what? If your annual percentage rate, that little thing when you look at a credit card statement and you open that paper up and you look on the back of it and it has 39%, 29%, 60%. Guess what that is? That's called what they gonna tax you for using their money. Exactly. Welcome on in, Sonia. She said, more money, more problems. And Pastor Carol said, honey, exactly. So I'm not gonna tell you all of my secrets, all my mess ups. But anyway, I'm gonna tell you that I found out, I faked around and found out that when they say that percentage, and so let's make it an even 40 on it. Exactly. Pastor Carol said on every dollar. So if it's 40% for a credit card, I'm just saying 40%. So every dollar is 40 cents. Every $10 it's $4. You see where I'm going with this? 40%. Okay. So $10. So $100 is $40. So that's $100 is $40. $1,000 is $400. So every time when you pay back that $1,000 that you charged up, look forward to that $400 being added to that. So 1,000 out, 1,400 you got to give back to them. That sounds fair, right? You spent their money, right? Okay, and stuff. So they do have the right to call you, even if you don't want to. Even if I pay for my car, the engine to be put back in, or I pay for this and that. I pay for the kids' baseball lessons or something like that and stuff. Yep. Just pay the extra $400 that's added on to that. And stuff. Go on and do it. It's all right. You got money. It's grow on trees, right? I could go outside to one of the trees and get some more. So, okay. And stuff. So you see where I'm going with that. So that's poor finances. And then there's also a thing called broken family relationships. And this is when the communication, because we're talking about New Year's resolution. So these are things that you would probably want to work on. This is the selection of things and stuff. So broken family relationships, when communication, trust, or connection with family members is damaged due to misunderstandings, trauma, hurt, old issues, or distance and everything. There's even a chance to reset that or at least work on it. Because this is important. Listen to what I'm saying on broken family relationships. First, you got to forgive. So somebody got to draw a line in the sand and forgive first. And then the first one to forgive, and if y'all both do it and stuff, that's even better, because the first ones to forgive the person that ought are the first ones to heal. I ain't never. I hate them for the rest of my life, and all of that stuff. Yeah. And the rest of your life, you will be unblessed and unforgiven by God. Because if you can't forgive, why should you ask Jesus to forgive you? God, forgive me. No. Did you forgive? Guess who got to work on that? So you see what I'm doing and stuff. I'm giving you my medicine, the medicine that I've developed for my own life and stuff. I'm giving it to you so that you can try to do the same thing and have you a wonderful, and happy and prosperous year. Let's draw the line in the sand today. And Pastor Carol said, Oh, she says, Sonia, hey girl, happy New Year's. So I don't know if Sonia's still on and everything and stuff, but Pastor Carol said, happy New Year's, girl. All right and stuff. So that's the broken family relationships. I will be diving deeper. I'm just giving you definitions right now to make it plain. Life planning. Listen to this one. Listen here. Setting clear, realistic goals for your money, your health, your relationships, and your personal growth, and creating a step-by-step plan to follow. That sounds really good, right? Because there is a chance, and stuff. It says the good news is you can reset no matter your age or situation. No matter how deep you think you went into hell and dipped down into hell, you can always come up victorious. You can always come out of this. But it starts with you. What you gonna do? Don't worry about what they gonna do, because they might not be ready to forgive you and stuff. But you forgive so that you can move on and you can stop blocking all your goodwill and blessings, good vibes, or whatever, the God of your understanding and everything, but not them and everything. So, oh yes, Miss Sandra, she said, the change that I am changing in my life after years of caring for my parents, and now they are resting in peace. So now, double knee replacement, my solution. So my resolution. So after healing is to run and exercise. God is blessing me. Thank you, Rosie and Charlene, for helping me with my fear. Amen. Thank you for listening. Just listening and everything, because we could put it out there. Like they said, you could lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, and stuff. You could lead somebody to the right thing or the right mindset to have, because all of this is a mindset. Because, with Sandra telling me this and stuff is, even with my mother, and stuff, we found out June 2025 that my mother was stricken with cancer and everything and stuff. So that's a big deal, and stuff. Being that I came from the oncology ward and all of that stuff, and it was also life changing, because that's not a patient, that's my mama. Okay, remember that and stuff. I think I said it before and stuff, but I'm saying all of this to say that no matter what, you can't make that make sense for me when it's my mama. It doesn't matter how many years, 1,000 years in nursing and everything. It touched my mama. It doesn't matter, and stuff like that. But what does matter is, although I looked at her in a way like, oh my God, she's 72 years old, and now we done found out she got cancer, and oh my God, like what do we do? Like, I'm like you, if it happened to you or something like that, I'm like, what do I do? You know how bad and isolated you feel and all of that type of stuff all together and stuff. And not just me, I'm talking about me, because this is me and my podcast and everything and stuff. But I'm saying this to say that other family members and stuff, everybody looking like, oh my God, what do we do? And stuff. Then, there comes the time where you should know what to do, or you get hit with guilt. If you wouldn't have had her eating this and that and y'all exercise more and stuff, this wouldn't have happened. How do you know? You don't know if you got it. With exercise, you know what I'm saying? So it's not that easy, and stuff. And blaming the messenger, and stuff, that's even harder, and stuff like that. So when I say this, I'm saying life be lifing on us, and stuff, and it's powerful, and it's weird, and all these things all into one. But guess what? You got to keep opening your eyes as long as God lets you, day after day after day, getting through each and every step, each and every step. So, and the voice of me saying this to my mama, who I love with all my heart, and stuff, that is my heart, and stuff. And I love her like she's loved by many, but I love her, and stuff. And my sister, she loves her, we love her. That's our mom, and she's still here to fight 7 cycles of chemotherapy and then a 6.5-hour surgery to remove the tumor. Okay. I'm saying all this to say that everybody's situation is important, Miss Sandra. Everybody's situation is important. Everybody has a certain fear of things and stuff. And if you don't know what's going to happen to you, then how do you know how to act or how it's going to feel or, and all of this stuff. So it is good to be able to know and find you a good person like me, and stuff to reach out to and say, hey, I'm feeling this way and that way and stuff. And then I can't make you think like me, but I can tell you what I know, even in a situation where it's not clear, what may or may not happen and everything and stuff. What you do, to get prepared is first you pray over you. You pray over you. And then you get other prayer warriors to pray with you, of course. And then when all of that's said and done and everything, then you make a declaration with God and say, I trust you, God. I trust you. This is how you get through the good, the bad, and the ugly. I trust you, Lord. I trust you. My mother's tumor was removed. We found out June 2025. November, her tumor was removed from her body. 6.5-hour surgery. What do you think I was thinking in there? After the first hour, after the second hour, after the third hour. Okay, the fourth hour. Oh, is she still alive? 5th hour, 6th hour, and pretty much the 7th, because it was 7.5 hours before I got a chance to even look at her and lay my eyes on her. And then we had to heal from that. We had to heal from that. Do you know that's tough? If life didn't life on me, I don't know what, but I thank God because he only gives his best to his soldiers that's going to stand up, that's going to do what they got to do. That's going to take one hit after another, and still try to keep some sanity and have a podcast and everything while going through this. If that ain't God, I don't know who woke me up. Okay. And stuff. So, what is this? Oh, okay. So, it says, awesome. Let me see. I'm sorry. Pastor Carol said, Sandra Briscoe, awesome. Yes. And then, Carol said, absolutely. That hits differently when it's your mommy going through something or a loved one, just period and everything. And then Sandra said, thank you, Pastor Carol. And then Pastor Carol said, Sandra Briscoe, yes, you got this. That's right. You got this. And now you just included some more prayer warriors on your team that's going to be praying for you and stuff. So don't think you alone. Don't think that, this is just, oh my God, and everything and stuff. You got this. You do got this. And you need to speak nothing but positive things into existence right now and everything. So Pastor Carol said, God allowed it so he can get the glory. Your testimony is blessing someone right now. Absolutely, Pastor Carol and stuff. My testimony that it hit me and I'm a nurse. Why I didn't see it? Well, you know what? I found out that just because I'm a nurse, I don't have an X-ray machine or a CT scanner inside my eyeballs. So I probably couldn't see it either, and stuff. I didn't know what it was and stuff. I just know this, that I could tell you with all certainty, this little thing right here that says CEO of Your Body's a Snitch, believe it. It's snitched on her. and she snitched on it, and we found it, and went through chemo and had it removed, and we still got a little small journey left, but that woman made it into 2026. So I don't care what nobody else thinks. I can't even afford to. I got to care about what God thinks and what God doing. And so all I can say with all certainty is if you give it to him, he'll bring you not only to it, but through it. And that's just something I have to say. I'm going to speak my piece. All right. So, welcome on in, Miss Whitney. She said, preach now, Miss Allen. Welcome on in, baby. And then Pastor Carol said, Whitney Lachey, yes, she is. Bless y'all heart and stuff. But very passionate and stuff. But sometimes it takes something to hit you to let you know that you're not in this by yourself, and everything and stuff. God is always sitting there like, okay, when she gonna ask me, oh, she gonna block it again. Okay, I'll see how it happens. But you know what? He'll bless you anyhow, even being hard-headed. He'll bless you while you're hard-headed. Okay. So these are signs and symptoms or snitches. Because that's what a symptom is a snitch. A snitch is a symptom is a snitch and stuff. So signs and snitching and stuff. Signs of needing a life reset. If you need a life reset, these are some of the things that you might be going through. And this is telling you that you got to reset. You got to save your life. And that will be constant tiredness or burnout. Constantly over the regular tiredness, just exhausted, and stuff, that means you need a reset. Feeling overwhelmed or easily irritated. That means you need a reset. Avoiding phone calls and responsibilities. That means you need a reset. Feeling stuck with no forward progress. That means you need a reset, a life reset. That means it's time to fix you or you're not going to make it. Not enjoying things you used to love. You need a reset, a life reset. I'm like, yeah. You see, I almost cried as I, looked this up and read through it. And oh my God, you need a reset. That's just for that one. So signs of financial overload. Signs of financial problems. That means you need a financial reset. You need to start prioritizing. Okay. How? Okay, let me tell you the symptoms of it, just in case you got it all together and stuff. I don't think I do, but you might have it all together. And that would be living paycheck to paycheck. That's not a good thing. You got to live until the next one comes. And throughout my life, that's happened to me. From mismanaging money, not doing it, God give it, God take it away, and all of that. More money, more problems. Oh, I need to get a boat. I'll get all this money a month, let me get a boat. I can't swim, but I have a boat, I'm just saying, and stuff like that. Also that you need a financial reset, avoiding phone calls or responsibilities, feeling stuck with no forward progress, not enjoying things you used to love. Oh, I just said the wrong one. But anyway, living paycheck to paycheck, constant overdrafts or late bills, high credit card use. Remember I told you 39 to 40% annual percentage rate means for every $1,000 you charge up on that card, even if it's $2,000, it's $2,800 now and stuff. That I'm just saying, they not your friend. They not your enemy either. They just not your friend. Find another way. No emergency savings. That means you need a financial reset. Money arguments with family members or partners. like, a business partner, and you spend up all the money, you got a gambling problem. I'm just saying, I don't know what everybody might have and stuff, but I'm just saying this is how it goes. Spending too much money, not bringing in nothing, and stuff like that. That's a problem. And those are all signs of financial overload. That means your financials is messed up. If you live in paycheck to paycheck, if you got constant overdrafts or late payments on your bills, high credit card use, that means, ooh, it's 10,000. Well, happy and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to me. I'm about to get down. And then I'm owed $60 million when I get finished running that little $10,000 up. Because that's 400 times that. So that's another $4,000 on there. So it turns into 10,000, turns into $14,000 payback money. Yeah, that's not fun. It's not fun. And everything. You wonder why you get that car and stuff. And they got the annual percentage rate, and it's only $12,000. I mean, 12% or something like that, or 16% and stuff. And then you be paying that car off for about 36 years and stuff. Yeah, it never get paid off, huh? Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so then signs and symptoms of damaged family relationships. No communication or only negative communication. That's one. And then passive aggressive comments or silent treatment. This is something that really happened. This is a thing. Or maybe not your family and stuff, but okay, I'm just saying. Feeling judged, misunderstood, or unsupported. Walking on eggshells around each other. Avoiding family gatherings. Old problems that never resolve. If the first one to forgive is the first one that will be healed, and they can move on with their life, even if you do the forgiving and the other person is like, I don't forgive you, and stuff like that. Okay, that's fine. You'll be unhealed, but I'm going to be healed, and I'm going to move on with my life, and hey, we can just cut it. And keep it cut, and so I'm just saying. Rosie Granny Allen said, teach, nurse, teach. Amen. Amen. Thank you, mommy. And then another sign and symptom. Also, what is it? I said old problems never resolved. That means something that happened years ago and stuff, and this happened and that happened, and they took mama's favorite ring, and that ring is worth so many $1,000s and stuff. They had no right to do that and this and that. It's all of that. I'm just saying, it's old stuff and everything that nobody has the monies to this day from that, or something like that and stuff. That always, it just happens. But just remember, this is actually normal. Because everybody ain't where everybody is, on the platform they are and stuff like that. So these things can happen. What are you going to do about it? You watching this podcast. What are you going to do about it? Forget everybody else. Is you going to heal? Is you going to reset your life? Is you going to reset your family relationships and broken relationships? Or are you going to wave the first SOS flag, like I surrender. I'm done with trying to fight with you. I apologize for whatever I did wrong to you, or even putting it out there. But I got more for you. So before I get into that and everything, let me go on to the next part and everything, and that is age-related signs. This is where we get down to the age. I told you 18 to 70. So things that are a problem or signs and symptoms that they're overwhelmed is anybody from 18 to 30, they have identity confusion. That's why it's a lot of that lifestyle. You know what I'm talking about, the gay and lesbian and females dressing up as men, and they might be called studs or something like that and stuff. Studs and stems, like pretty girls that are gay and stuff like that, or however that goes. And also, you got your cross dressers or drag queens and stuff like that, and they like the male, but they want to dress up like a woman to give the illusion that they are female, and different things like that. I just recently was in Walmart and standing in line, and one came in, and her boobs they were like perfect, so I looked over like, and I just turned my head because I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna get punched in the back of my head or something, and they was behind me, so I tried to turn sideways so I could look real quick and stuff, but I've seen it, and he was very pretty, very, very unusually pretty, and I was just like, oh, like, but then start talking, and his voice was like my I was like, yeah, but I'm a girl, and stuff, like he's a he and stuff. But I'm just saying, I don't know. I didn't address it. I didn't say nothing and everything. But I'm gonna tell you a little old lady that I know that I've been dealing with and everything. Told him he was pretty. Yeah, what if he would have knocked I would have had to fight and flight and freeze and stuff. But I'm saying all of that to say that yes, it was very special and stuff. But that's out there. Just know that it's out there. So don't behoove yourself and stuff. It's there, and it's probably there to stay and stuff. So I this is a non-judgmental platform, so I refuse to bring it down or drag it and stuff. Everybody has their life things. We don't know what happened to everybody. We don't know what happened to me and stuff. So you just gotta, work with, roll with what's going out there. But one thing that you can't do is find yourself trying to tell them about themselves when you don't know what happened. You don't know what kind of rape could have happened, anything, to make them feel like they needed to make this big of a transformation and stuff. So if it's not your business, let's stay in our lane for this year. I bet you we'll live longer. I bet. And everything. So that's 18 to 30. They have identity confusion. They have job instability, always getting fired because they can't wake up. They tired. I don't want to be an adult. I don't want to get out there in these streets and everything. And then they make financial mistakes, big ones, like getting that credit card with their brand new credit, and stuff like that. And they get a fat credit card and stuff and can't pay it back because they lost their job, right after they got the credit card and ran it up. And then there's the 31 to 50. They got work stress. How many of y'all had work stress? Okay, I'm the only one and stuff, so it's all right and stuff. But during that work stress, I just remember, like you're supposed to, this is a blessing. You a nurse and stuff. You get paid like $900,000 a hour and stuff like that. You supposed to be happy. Anything that pays you $900,000 an hour is not gonna be fun. I don't care how many cute little scrubs and your little water bottle and all of that stuff. When life and that room going there and you got a cold going on and it's 911 and you got to jump up on top of somebody, pull out that cord to drop the bed down the flat so that you could start CPR and all of that stuff, and remembering that and stuff while everybody coming in, then they want you to report off and all of that, and then you got 4 more patients out there sitting talking about, I called you, I needed some catch up, and you in there doing CPR and this and this. Yeah. Welcome to hell. But anyway, time after time after time, year after year after year after year. If y'all don't think the hand of God is on me, I don't know what to. I'm just saying. If you can't see it on you, could you see it on me? Because how did I survive that? Okay. But anyway, that is 31 to 50-year-olds, work stress. No, nobody has work stress. Parenting pressures, raising your kids the right way, not over spoiling them so that they turn out to be hoodlums and doing things they ain't got no business doing, and stuff like that. Debt and stuff. That's a big part of our life, debt and everything. Aging parents, taking care of your parents, 72 with cancer and chemo and surgery. But anyway, I'm saying all of that about that one and stuff. And then 51 years old to 70, life transitions, health stress, family disconnect, retirement fears and stuff. Those are all things that are just valid and everything, but it's something to talk about and everything and stuff. So then treatments, how to reset, how to fix this. What do I do? Okay, now you done told me this is what's wrong with me and stuff, and I checked out 3 or 4 of them boxes that of all the stuff you listed. Now what do I do? Okay, I'll tell you. Think of these things as practical life medicines. This is your medicine. I'm gonna give you a category, and this is your medicine. This is some things that you could do. You don't have to do it to the number and stuff, because a lot of people add a lot more prayer into this and stuff. But if you are in that world of prayer and stuff, you got to pray harder and stuff. You got to pray more serious and vicious. Even when it's going good, you got to pray. And if that's not your thing, which at times it might not be your thing, then maybe you could listen to these and catch what you need out of them. And so week 1, it's a 4-week the life reset formula. 4 weeks. So remember I told you the 6th to the 6th of February, and so we can start today. And that will be week 1, declutter your mind. If it got a whole bunch of trash and garbage up in here and negative thoughts and I hate this, I'm broke, I'm this, I'm that, everybody want this from me, everybody want that from me, where's the room to fix it? Where's the room to fix it? So we're going to be stuck. If that's me, I'm going to be stuck. I can't even fix myself, and I'm telling y'all how to fix you, and stuff. So, okay. Pastor Carol said, amen. That's right. And that would be declutter your mind. And this is week 1. List your stressors, the top 5. Write them down on paper. You know what? Somebody else, Steve Harvey, my aunt was sending me a bunch of this Steve Harvey stuff and everything, and I watched it finally and stuff. He do a lot of writing things down before he got it right and got out of the stuff he was in. But anyway, list your stressors, at least the top 5 that is tearing you up. And that's usually your health, your finances, maybe your job stress, and stuff like that and everything. So I'm just saying, list your 5 stressors. Then number 2, identify what you can control, the things that you can actually fix by changing your mindset, by doing a couple things to get to it. So list those, the things you can fix and stuff, like not going to Starbucks and saving a little money here and there, and stuff, not having so many Hulu, Disney Channel, BET, and all of that stuff. After a while, they turn out to be about $10 million a month, and stuff. If you got all of them, Discovery Channel, what is it, Netflix, and whatever. But anyway, release what you cannot control. If you can't fix it, you can't fix it. So what you gonna do? Fight it anyway? It's gonna beat you up. It's gonna beat me up. So if I can't fix it, then I release it. God, I'm leaving it at your feet. I can't do nothing with this. I can't. What can I do? If you can't fix it, you can't fix it. Period. And then 4, practice 10 minutes of daily quiet time. Meaning, this is important. 10 minutes of daily time where you take to yourself, away from everybody, that phone cannot be in a room with you. The TV cannot be on. The computer can't be running where you could tap on it and do something, and everything and stuff. This is 10 minutes of saving your life. Remember, this is medical talk in layman's terms with Nurse Charlene. Medical talk. So I'm trying to tell you, this is how I'm saving my life. This is how you're going to save your life. That 10 minutes a day. That's all they asking, 10 minutes. But you built up a habit over however many years you've been here and stuff. But 10 minutes to declutter your mind, to go in straight silence. It's called meditation. Some can choose to pray. Some can choose to try to release as much as they can till their mind goes blank. The most that you could do maybe is if you have one of those calm apps or something like that and stuff, or some type of waves, the waves and stuff. You can't get to the beach or something like that and stuff. Maybe listening to some water or something. But you got to find a way to clear your mind, declutter it, because you can't fix your life while your mind is full of noise. You can't fix your life if you still thinking about, I still got to call the PG&E and tell them that I'm going to rob Peter to pay Paul. I can't do this and stuff, and I got to go get my car fixed and stuff. It won't do this and do that and stuff. You can't concentrate or meditate for a few minutes to save your life. I got 3 appointments and stuff tomorrow, and then 2 on the next day and all of that stuff. If you don't carve out that little bit of time, that's week 1. Week 2, fix your financial foundation. Write down all money expenses. Everything that you didn't spend some money on, even the stuff that you've been hiding, write it down. You don't have to let everybody see it. Let you see it. You did it, let you see it and stuff. Write down all your money expenses, everything, that Starbucks, that movies, that this and that and stuff, that betting on the game, or whatever it is, buying lottery tickets. But I be winning and you be losing too. You probably lose more than you win, and stuff. So you just got your money back later and stuff. But anyway, separate all your needs versus all your wants. I want Starbucks, but I need to go buy me some Taster's Choice from the grocery store when I do my grocery shopping, and stuff like that. Like, I don't have to have them every single day, because if I counted up how much that is every single day, and stuff, I got to have my latte, I got to have my so-and-so frappe, whatever and stuff, count how much a day and see if it looks cute. Okay, for just the drink. Okay, and then create a simple 50-30-20 plan. 50% of all your needs, that's what you need to work on. 50% of your needs. And then 30% of your wants. So yes, I can still get a Starbucks, but not every day. Instead of every day, it might come down to once or twice a week, but you got to make some type of budge, or you're not going to heal. You're not going to reset. You won't reset. And then there's the 20% of savings and debt payoff. Paying that $10 million back with the interest of 25 more million on top of that. So you got $35 million that you owe and stuff, paying that off. So one, you could start with a $5 a day savings challenge. Don't even look at it. Just put it away every day. Every day. Don't skip a day without putting $5 in that same spot somewhere. It don't matter where. I don't want to know. You don't need to know mine. And so just know that $5 a day. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, but $5 a day. No matter what. Not to go back in that, because you're trying to come out of it. You're trying to reset. So this is $5 a day. Savings challenge. And then also calling your creditors instead of avoiding them. I done pistol whip some creditors in my day. Woo-hoo! Yeah, I said some real pleasurable stuff to them. And I think they like me. No, they don't like me. I don't even like me. About some of the things I said, I'm embarrassed. So I ain't going to tell you what I said. But I'll tell you one thing. I did say one thing. We got to be transparent. And so I said one thing that was jacked up. This lady kept calling my mother's phone and stuff. A creditor kept calling my mama phone and stuff. I hope she ain't out there listening. But anyway, she kept calling my mama phone. We in Target and stuff, getting some stuff and everything. And she said, I hung it up and she just keep on calling, and stuff like that. She just kept on. She had that number and she kept on calling. So I went on another aisle away from the little crowd of people that my mother was at with her phone. And I said some nice things to her. And at the end, I said, I'm going to beat your cute self. And she told me, bring a bag lunch. Woo! I love her to this day. Because she said, bring a bag lunch. Because you sure going to be in for a tussle all night long with me and stuff. But I was so shocked. Nobody has ever got at me like that. They usually just hang up in my face or somewhere. This one on the line. I ain't gonna even deal with her and stuff. But the whole point of that is, why is they calling? Because somebody owed her that. But I got mad because she was stressing my mama out, and stuff. So she called again, and I was like, yeah, I'm ready for you, girl. And yeah, she told me to bring a bag lunch. I ran into an old school gangster. I sure did. Because I ain't never heard that in my life and stuff. But I will never forget that. And I know that I need to be a lot more understanding because these people, they get this job. That's to feed their family and stuff. But number one thing is they got to get the bag. They got to secure the money. They got to secure that payment, or whatever it is, that you debt. And they got to secure that. And how can they secure it? They got to call you to tell you that you owe it and stuff. So is they wrong? But who wrong? The one that avoids it, the one that talks real bad to them, and everything else. But the whole moral of that story is bring a bag lunch. I'm just playing. But the whole moral of that story is it's time for us to grow up. If nothing else, it's time for us to grow up. And so financial peace starts with clarity, not income. So you won't get peace by getting you a new job and get more money. You just gonna get more debt. So the financial peace is being clear about what you owe, fixing that, working on it one at a time, because it took one at a time to run each bill up and each situation up and everything and stuff. So don't be hard on yourself. Don't terrorize yourself. You ain't gonna never reset, and stuff. Start a little bit by little, and you'll find yourself, it'll start coming off to every, it'll start calming down and stuff. Everything will start getting better. And Miss Sonia said, Happy New Year's to you, Queen. All right. And stuff. So that's my spiel about week 2. Week 3, heal family relationships. Use the 3R method. It might not work. It may work. At least try it. Okay. She said to Carol, Happy New Year's, Queen, Pastor Carol. All right. So using the 3R method is reach out, send a simple, non-emotional message to that person. Respect their boundaries, yours and theirs. If they don't want to, then you do it upon yourself to go ahead and do your apology, and then you step away from the building, and everything. At least you're okay and everything. And then number 3 of the 3 R's, reach out, respect boundaries, and repair slowly and stuff. That means taking your time. It's not going to happen maybe the first try, second try, or third try. So making sure that you take care of it one conversation at a time and everything. And try this script. Hey, I know things haven't been perfect between us. I'm open to understanding your feelings and working on things when you're ready. Meaning that's starting slow, meaning that you give them a chance to think about it, to sit on it before, and stuff, while you're trying to fix the things and stuff. You want it repaired, but if it can't be repaired or that person is not in a forgiving mode and stuff, then you have to just go ahead and learn how to forgive yourself for getting in that situation, but also continue to forgive them. Because they might have did something to you and then they're still guilt stricken from what they did to you. It might not even been your fault necessarily. But in order to be the greater person, the first to forgive is the first to heal. Okay? So rules of working this out. No blame when you're trying to repair a family relationship. No blame. It was you. If you wouldn't have, no. If I wouldn't have, no blame. No dragging up old wounds at once. Well, remember when you did this on that Thursday, the 27th in 2013, or whatever it was. Yeah. No, that's not the way you drag it up and open up a new wound. We already know what was done. That's why y'all stopped talking, and stuff like that. No yelling. Ah! Yeah. Who you yelling at? Leave it alone and stuff, because yelling starts an argument. It starts irritation. And then the other person want to meet your energy. And if y'all both yelling, then y'all both is not getting this resolved. And then take breaks when emotion rise. If it's a little bit too much and stuff like that, slow it down and come back to the beginning. And then start again. Take a deep breath and start again. All right. Welcome on in, Kimberly. And so she said, Happy New Year's, guys, and stuff. Happy New Year's to you and your family. Bless your heart and stuff. And so the end of this is set expectations. Healing takes time. Not everyone is ready at the same time. So even though I might be ready to forgive and talk about it and stuff, that other person might not be ready. So you got to give them time to develop that too, because it took time for y'all to stop talking for so long and everything and stuff. But that's the way you do it. You gradually just move in and then you wait. I'll wait. And then you move in. And if they're not ready, that means that they might go unhealed. But you're going to be healed. So do your part and then leave it alone. That's all you can do. At least you know that you got a good chance of going upstairs instead of downstairs. But if they want to stay in that and stuff, then that might be where they need to be. Okay. So week 4, create your new life plan. Break your life into 4 categories. 1 is health. In order to be healthy, you have to get some good sleep. You got to hydrate yourself, water. I know it don't taste like nothing. They got stuff that you could squirt in it and stuff if that's what you need before you can start just drinking plain water and stuff. So sleeping good, hydrating yourself, and exercising. Sonia, my sister Sonia said, if they not ready, be petty. Yes, that's a great idea and stuff. Oh my God. Okay, I missed you. Young lady and stuff. She said, if they not ready, be petty. All right. Okay. Toxic positivity and stuff. So then money. So I said break your life into 4 categories. 1 is health. That means getting hydrated, getting your sleep, and get to moving. And then, of course, diet right. and stuff. Change your diet up a little bit at a time. Add a vegetable when you never did, and stuff like that. But I'm just saying. Then it's also money. Learn to budget your money, because every dollar you need to know where it goes and what we putting it on, and stuff, and all of that. But also having that savings plan or some type of savings, a little bit of cushion, I call it, and stuff. And then a debt plan of how to pay off the debt, how to make it ease it off of you, a little bit better. Maybe by calling that debt collector and saying, look, you're not going to tell me where my money going to go, but guess what? When I get paid on such and such a date and stuff, I'll make sure that I scoop that money aside to make my payment and stuff. They can't make you just because they on the phone, like, you better pay it. I'll kick your... What they gonna do? I'll be like, you got my address? Bring a bag lunch. But anyway, I'm just saying and stuff. So work on that debt plan and everything. There's actually a such thing, because we are surprised once we find out where all our money is going and stuff, that we need to make sure that, did we really need that? Yep, that can go on a debt. Yep, that could go in my $5 a day savings challenge, $5 a day every single day. And Sonia said, don't just go hungry, because you will get worms or change your phone numbers and stuff. So that's right. Don't just go hungry, because you could get sick and fall out and won't even be able to make it to work and stuff, because you don't have no nutrition, because you try to be Mrs. Perfect or Mr. Perfect and pay off all your debt. Yeah, they're not feeding you. Yes, you did get into debt, and yes, you got to go ahead and take accountability for that. But paying back a debt should never go over your family going hungry, but your bills is paid, because the bill's gonna still be there, and they got solutions for that and stuff like that. So at the same time and stuff, you could do everything you can to avoid it, but the problem's still gonna sit there and be like, yep, I know your social security number. Yeah. And stuff. So they gonna get at you. So then that was health, that was money, and then relationships, boundaries, and communication. Set your boundaries, clear boundaries. I will not allow this into my space or whatever. And communication, I will not allow this. I cannot do this. This goes against my reset. I'm fixing me, and the only way I could fix me is if I show you clear boundaries that this is something that stresses me out, so I cannot do this. I cannot do this with you. I cannot, or whatever and stuff. But boundaries, the other person, I have no, if somebody said that to me, I have no choice but to try to respect what they say and watch my mouth. Watch your mouth, and stuff like that, because you could turn that into a bridge burn, never to be repaired again, and everything. So then there's a personal growth, and that's the last one. So it's health, money, relationships, and then personal growth. And that will be personal growth will be your skills you obtain and stuff, fixing things, your hobbies. How creative. I didn't even know that I could make jewelry, but I looked at one piece of jewelry, some earrings, and I found out every single intricate part. So I end up turning it into a business. It's called Honey's Custom Designs, and it's still up and running and everything and stuff. And it was behind, I wasn't taught that. It's the creativity that was put down into me that allowed me to be able to do something that intricate and learn how to do all types of stuff and look at gemstones and look at stuff. I mean, y'all, I know y'all seen it. I know you've seen it. I got terahertz and shungite and jade and all types of stuff on, and stuff like that. That comes from me being a jewelry connoisseur. Do I need to spend all my money on it? Okay. And so Sonia said facts. Yes. So at the same time, I like jewelry, but a lot of stuff I have to make, catch on sale, and stuff, so that I'm not just being foolish about it and stuff, and then accumulate over time. This hasn't been just, a couple weeks here and there, or a couple months, here and there and stuff. This has been over years of time and everything doing this and stuff. But that's what happens. So that's your personal growth. So skills and hobbies and emotional health. Taking that time to meditate. Taking that time on my day to shut down that raggedy job that pay me, but I got to go through hell to get that money, and stuff like that, and all this stuff. Thinking more of myself, that I'm precious, that I mean something, I'm important. It doesn't mean that just because I'm saying this and I'm a lady, I'm talking about a man too. You're important, and stuff. You mean something. You are something. You are somebody. There will never be another you. There will never be another me, and everything and stuff. So all of this stuff. Somebody said that they need some free gold chains. Yep. That ship has sailed. No, you might stay on until the end of the podcast, and I'll hook you up. Okay. And stuff. So then that was it. So another thing to do is to write 1 to 2 goals per category only of health, money, relationship, and personal growth. Keep it simple and achievable, meaning don't set yourself up for failure. Just 1 or 2 things from each category, and then work on those. And then if they get better, then you could add extra to each category, another thing and another thing. But first, get the habit. It takes, as far as I know, I heard it takes 30 days to build a habit, but it's every day. So that $5, that $5 a day savings and stuff, that's a big deal. And stuff. Sonia said, "Hear that, mommy?"
No.
She said no. Really loud, no. And stuff. So Sonia said, "I got witnesses on this podcast that says you said that you gotta develop these habits. It still count for you too, Ma," and stuff. But okay. Exercises to reset your life. Number 1, the daily 5. Every morning, write 1 thing to handle, 1 thing to simplify, 1 thing to learn, 1 thing to release, and 1 thing to be grateful for daily. Also, the 90-second rule for stress. When overwhelmed, you pause, breathe slowly, let emotions pass. The brain calms in 90 seconds. That's 1 minute and a half. So that's 1 minute and 30 seconds or 90 seconds and stuff. Let the emotion pass. It takes 90 seconds to bring yourself back down to a acceptable way of being and everything. And then the Sunday reset. Every Sunday, clean and declutter your living area. Not just the living room, your bedroom and stuff, wherever you be at the most and stuff like that. Clean and declutter it every Sunday. Plan your meals because you got the work week ahead of you. Now, also this is before church or after and stuff for anybody that, is a worshiper and stuff. And even if you have several times in between that time, come home, eat something, and then get ready for the next service and stuff. But you should use your Sunday to clean and declutter your living area. Plan your meals, even meal prepping. It might help you and stuff and save you some money from going out to this fast food and that fast food and this fast food and they fast food and stuff. Because after a while, they all start running together, and then one bad meal and you never want to go back and stuff. So give yourself time to miss it and everything and stuff. So plan your meals, organize your clothes, get them out, and stuff, or hang them on hangers and stuff for each day, and stuff, so that you just have them out and ready to go and stuff. Review your budget. Always stay mindful of your budget, and I guarantee you'll be rich before it's all over with if you find out where all your money is going. I swear and stuff. I've seen people do it and stuff. I haven't accomplished it yet. So like I said, when I'm teaching you, I'm teaching me and everything and stuff. And then last, set your 3 goals for the week. You got 3 goals to get through for the week and everything. Set them, and then maybe even writing them on a whiteboard or something like this behind me and stuff like that, and then accomplishing them before the week is up, before that next Sunday. That's what they give you, that time. And then what this does is it builds consistency. Consistency builds a habit and a certain mindset. So now you're healing. You're fixing things. Things aren't so stressful. Things aren't so bad. You can finally hear what they're saying at work and stuff, where it's so troublesome to you and stuff. You can finally hear it or develop enough patience to be able to take that time and reset yourself. Sometimes you might have to do it 3 or 4 times a day before you get home. But remember, when you're dead, they might post your position before your funeral, and stuff. So it's that serious. So they don't care. They're not paid to care. They're paid to do what they do. And for the people that are the bosses and stuff like that and stuff, just remember, you could be in that situation too and be a subordinate, somebody under somebody and stuff. When you overextend your superiority and stuff, it's a problem. Okay, Miss Sandra said, must say good night. This was a wonderful resolution and podcast. All right, Miss Sandra, you take care, and we'll be talking soon and everything. And I'll be checking on you and stuff, because I know you got some work ahead of you and stuff, but you can get through it and stuff. I'll tell you that much. So you got this. And good night, T, and everything. Thank you guys for joining. All right, I'm almost done anyway, for everybody else that might still be on and stuff. So I said, what else is there? That was every Sunday, and that this builds consistency. The bridge message for family repair. Send 1 bridging message per week. Kind, short, and non-judgmental. And that's all you could do. Example, thinking of you today. Hope you are doing well. It opens the door gently. You're welcome, Miss Sandra, and stuff. And so I wanted to do myth versus facts. I think I'm going to do a couple and stuff, and then a take-home message, and I'll have you out of here in about 3 minutes and stuff. And that is myth 1. It's too late to reset my life. That's an untruth. The fact is, people start over at 18, 40, 55, and even in their 70s. Resetting is ageless. Another myth. You need a lot of money to fix finances. Yeah, right. But anyway, fact. You need awareness, not wealth. The first step is being clear what's going in and what's going out and stuff. So that's where that comes in at. Myth. Family relationships heal instantly. Fact. Healing is slow, like physical therapy. Consistency matters more than speed. Yes, it's not going to happen overnight. It might not even ever happen and stuff. But just as long as you tried, that's all you need to do is clear your conscience. Okay? Another myth. Stress means you're weak. If you get stressed out, you weak. That's an untruth. Fact. Stress is a normal human reaction. Learning to manage it and cope with it is the strength that you need. Myth. People should automatically know how you feel. They should automatically be able to know how you feel, if you feel bad or good. That's the untruth. Fact. Clear communication is a skill, never an automatic trait. Yeah, it's not gonna just automatically, they just know what's going on and stuff. They only responsible for what they know and what stress they're under and stuff. So that's not true. So the take home message, and then I'll let you guys go. You can restart your life at any age. Your situation is not permanent. Stress is a signal, not a failure. Your body is alerting you to slow down and reset. That's what stress is. Financial peace begins with awareness, knowing where your money is. Even if you messed up, it's only you need to know and stuff so you can fix it. You're responsible for it, right? Okay. What else? Knowing where your money is going before you try, just finding out, being in the know of your finances is the best medicine ever. And then family healing requires patience and humility and stuff. You got to be humble. You got to be kind. You got to be empathetic, which means putting yourself in somebody else's shoes and just understanding that they might be under a lot of stress and stuff. And that's why they're weird, and stuff, and things like that. Okay. And go slow, lead with kindness, and do not blame. Don't blame yourself or the person that you want to clear this up with and everything. And small steps, not perfection, create lasting change. Small steps, not perfection, creates lasting change. A 1% improvement every day builds a new life in 6 months. You hear that? A 1% improvement every day builds a new life in 6 months. You can fix your life. You're not doomed. So what? That happened last year, the year before that, the year before that, the year before that. We're talking about now, January 6th, 2026. 2026. Okay? Your reset begins with one decision. I'm ready to take control again. It means that you actually came through and you care about yourself. I am done, you guys, and stuff. I kept you a little bit later, but that was because this needed to get out. This is called the New Year's resolution. It ain't about being cute. I plan on taking me a few vacations, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and I'm make sure I get my hair done every other week and stuff like that. And that's gonna be my New Year's revolution. I said revolution, and I'm gonna make sure I get my hair and my nails did and all of that stuff, because that's treating me and stuff. And I'll make sure I spend heck of money on everything. Okay, so you said I'm still here. Okay, thank you and stuff. But oh yeah, okay, you earned it and stuff. So I'm just coming to the end of everything. But the whole point I'm trying to make is we are human. Let's take the time, including me, because I done messed up and did all the other stuff. That's why I'm telling you now, it didn't work for me. It didn't work. It didn't feel good or nothing and stuff. And actually it lowered my self-esteem. It lowered my, my sense of, feeling that I deserve better and stuff like that. And I had to retrain my brain. And I'm still retraining my brain and stuff to figure this out and everything. But just remember, don't be so hard on yourself. I already did it for you and stuff. I was hard on myself and mad at myself. Every time something went wrong in my life, I blamed me. I didn't even bother blaming the other persons or whatever the entity might have been and stuff. It was always I blamed myself. And I was so hard on myself that I was like, yeah, it's not going to be another you. To be a mother, a sister, a daughter, a grandmother, in all these different things that I am, a nurse, entrepreneur, a digital creator, a podcaster, and all this stuff, and everything. It took time, but I had to get some self-esteem and pull it out of somewhere in order to get on here and talk to you guys. Check my stuff, fact check me, because maybe you could teach me something. I ain't gonna let you tear me down, but I'll let you teach me, and everything and stuff, and then be ready to come on, and stuff, and let me know what you know and everything. I'm willing to learn. I have not gotten old enough that I never learned nothing from nobody. I learn daily, new things every time and stuff. And guess what? You can too. Where do you think all of it came from? And the things I pick up and the things I put out here on the social media and stuff like that, that's something that, it takes a skill. It takes time to build that up. It takes patience with myself, patience with people, and stuff like that. And if I could better your day or improve something, then I did my job. That's all I need to worry about and everything. But at the end of the day, just be kind to yourself and know that you can reset your life no matter what the situation is, no matter how daunting it looks, how crazy it looks. How can I fix me? How can I get to the other side? You can, and you will. Not just can, you will, because you're going to start with you. You're going to start with you. You're going to make a decision. And now let's go. Let's go. January 6th, 2026. 8:35 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and stuff. It's time. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So anybody that came on late or didn't get a chance to come on at all, watch the replay. I won't be able to interact with you because this is live and everything. But once I get off and stuff, you can still leave me comments and everything. And I'll go back in there and you'll be able to check your comment and see what I put under it and everything. And you guys take care. Thank you for participating, coming on and everything else and stuff. Everybody take care and be kind to yourself and your family. All right. I send my love. Bye-bye, everybody. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Where is that? Okay.